in organizations, there is diversity of people, policies, and procedures. Hence, we do see lots of conflicts as well. Now, when we hear the word conflict or even read the word conflict, it creates strong feelings and emotions and makes us feel anxious. Not all the conflicts are bad. In fact, conflict is an essential resource in order to mobilize others to meet the needs of the changing, diverse working environment. It's such a big subject, and I don't want to overload the information in this video. So I have decided to divide the conflict management subject into two segments or two videos. In my first video, which is this one, I'm going to talk about the nature, the effects if the conflict is not solved, the causes of conflict, and the stages of conflict as well. So let me talk you through the causes of conflict. The causes are pretty much related to the differences, lack of clarity, and also the potential threats involved. So when we talk about differences, it could be differing values. All of us have got different values, which is pretty much different from one person to another. For someone, it could be the quality of work, whereas for others, it could be the quantity of work. So there is difference in productivity leading to conflict. The next one is different perception and understanding. Again, all of us have got different perceptions and understanding about a particular situation, and all of us have got different personalities too. The actions, words, beliefs, meanings that are attached to what others say or do in beliefs about the functional role of others could potentially lead to conflict. For example, person 1 is spending extra hours is seen as the manager pleasing person by person number 2. Whereas person number 2, who doesn't sit for extra hours, is seen as lazy person by person number 1. So can we see different perceptions between person number 1 and person number 2? This could lead to conflict. The next one is differing treatment. One is treated well over others, or ignoring somebody's behavior and reprimanding others for the same behavior can cause conflict. The next one is hidden agenda. It could be for a competitive reason, or somebody else's gain over somebody else's loss, or working on somebody else's goal and not getting the due recognition, or looking for taking credit for someone else's work. All of these become potential causes for conflict. The next one is ambiguity. Confusion, lack of clarity, and overlapping responsibility. Conflict occurs when it comes up to owing the part of the problem, where people tend to blame each other for non-competent results. The next one is changes in organization, especially during the restructuring. People tend to have conflict discussing about why certain people are retained and why certain people are asked to leave. The next one is uncertainty. People are not sure on what to do. There could be many more to the list you can add. So let's have a look at what is the nature of conflict. It is natural, disruptive, and inevitable. So what happens when the conflict is not resolved? If the conflict is not resolved, it damages the relationship, damages the structure, affects the health, causing physical, mental, and emotional problems, dip in performance, lower productivity, and loss to the business, wastage of time, money, effort, and the resources. And also, not to forget, increased turnover. So let's say, what are the stages of conflict? For any conflict to happen, there has to be a situation and a source. And source, of course, mostly is centered towards people, policies, and procedures. A situation occurs, people start having perception or sensing, which is then translated into thoughts, and which is then translated into words. That's when they communicate, and later on it leads to actions or reactions. Now, when a situation occurs, people perceive, which is different from one person to another, and it comes through their own personal experience of a similar situation or personal experiences shared by someone else of a similar situation. Perception forms the thought, and immediately we go into survival mode. We start thinking and reflecting. Is the situation going to meet the needs, or it's not going to meet the needs? Is it a threat or not a threat? If it is a threat and does not meet the needs, that's when we communicate. Communication either is, if it is too little or too much, leads to misinterpretation. So that is why it's very important on what, how, and how much information to communicate. Now, as a result of communication, you can see the action or reaction, which involves obviously the emotional or physical response depending on what and how you say. I hope you have got lots and lots of information about different stages of conflict, about the differences in conflict, and about the nature of conflict and what happens if the conflict is not solved. Now, in my next segment, I'm going to talk about the way out to conflict, which is basically conflict management, and also what are some of the good effects of having a conflict. So stay tuned in. Bye bye, take care, happy learning, stay safe.